Hello, friends. Have you ever wondered why people just walk out of your life? You know, you think everything's fine, and then suddenly they're gone, just like that. I can see it in your eyes. You feel abandoned, hurt, confused. You start asking yourself, what did I do wrong? You think maybe you're not good enough, that they got tired of you and tossed you aside like you were nothing, like you didn't matter. But let me tell you something. It's not about you. It's about them. You might even think that God's out to get you, questioning why he would take away the people who meant everything to you. You might be asking, why would he do this to me? What did I do to deserve this? But let me tell you, maybe, just maybe, he saw something you couldn't. He saw through the lies, the fake smiles, and the empty promises. He saw their true intentions. They weren't there for you. They were there for themselves. You were just another piece in their game, someone to use and manipulate until they got what they wanted. And now they're gone, leaving you with all these questions, this pain in your chest that feels like it might never end. But here's the thing. This isn't your fault. The pain you're feeling, it's because you gave a damn. They didn't. You gave your time, your energy, your soul, and they took it all. They fed off of you while you were busy trying to be everything they needed. But God saw it all. He saw them for what they really were, poisonous to your soul. So he took them away. Not to punish you, but to free you, to save you from yourself. You're sitting here wondering why it all went wrong. You're hurting deep inside, and you're struggling to understand how everything could have turned out like this. You feel lost, abandoned, and betrayed. But what if I told you that you've been holding on to something that wasn't meant for you? You see, it's easy to get trapped in the illusion of love, loyalty, and friendship. You think you know who has your back, who's truly there for you. But in reality, many of the people in your life were never really there for you. They were there for themselves, feeding off of your energy, your love, your generosity. They drained you, and you didn't even realize it. God saw it. He saw that you were giving more than you had, giving your heart, your time, your soul to people who didn't deserve it. You were pouring everything into them, trying to fill their voids, believing that if you just gave enough, they would return the love. They would stay by your side. But that's not how it works. Love isn't a transaction. It's not about giving and giving until you're empty and hoping that someone will one day love you the way you deserve. Love is mutual. It's a balance. It's about giving and receiving. And the people you were holding on to, they never gave back. They took and took, leaving you with nothing. They might have shown you a facade, a smile, a promise, a word that made you believe they would always be there. But underneath it all, they were leeches, using you to fill their own emptiness without ever truly caring for you. Maybe they convinced you that you couldn't live without them. They made you feel like you needed them to feel whole, like they were your salvation. But God knew better. He knew they were holding you back, keeping you stuck in a toxic pattern, giving your best years to people who weren't worthy of it. And so, he ripped them away from you. In your pain, in your heartbreak, it might feel like you've lost something irreplaceable. But let me tell you, you haven't lost a thing. You've gained freedom. You've been set free from the shackles that held you in place. It might not feel like it now, but that freedom is the most valuable thing you've ever received. And when you're hurting, when you're struggling to breathe because of the weight of the loss, you have to remind yourself that this is what it takes to see the truth. Pain is the price we pay for clarity. It's a heavy price, but it's worth it in the end. You've been walking around with dead weight for so long, carrying people who didn't deserve you, and now you're starting to see it. You're realizing just how much time you wasted on them, just how much energy you poured into people who would never appreciate it. That's where the real pain lies. It's not in losing them. It's in realizing you gave so much to people who never really cared. And you know what? God couldn't let you destroy yourself by continuing to believe in their lies. He couldn't stand to watch you waste another minute of your precious life on people who weren't good enough for you. So, he took them away. And even though it feels like you're losing something, even though it hurts like hell, God is doing you a favor. He's clearing the path for you to see your true worth. You're worth more than the scraps they were throwing your way. You're worth more than their empty promises, their fake love. You deserve people who see you for who you truly are, not for what you can do for them. And now you have a chance to rebuild, to surround yourself with people who truly love you, who respect you, who value you. You have the chance to create a life that is real, not built on false hopes and lies. But here's the thing. It's going to be hard. You're going to feel the loneliness. You're going to have those nights where the silence feels so deafening, where you wonder if you'll ever be able to shake off the pain. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But that's part of the process. That's the price you pay for truth. You're standing in the dark now, but that darkness is your teacher. It's showing you who you really are. When you're alone, when it feels like the whole world is against you, that's when you find out how strong you really are. And let me tell you something. You're stronger than you think. You survived them. You survived the betrayal. You survived the abandonment. Most people would have crumbled by now, but you're still here, standing, breathing, and feeling. Maybe not as tall as you want to be, but you're still standing. And that's something to be proud of, because what most people don't realize is that surviving this pain, surviving the abandonment of people who never really cared about you, that's a feat in itself. But here's the thing. Pride alone isn't going to get you where you need to be. You can't keep living in the past, replaying all the what-ifs and could-have-beens. That's dead weight. It's holding you back. The only thing that matters now is what you do next. You have two choices. You can keep dwelling on the past, keep letting it eat you up from the inside, or you can use that pain, that anger, that betrayal, and turn it into something powerful. Something that will push you forward, something that will make you unstoppable. You've been through hell, and you're still standing. You've seen the truth now. You know what people are really like. You know how easy it is for them to smile in your face and stab you in the back at the same time. You know how ugly and cruel the world can be. But that's where your strength lies. You know the game now. You see through the lies. You see through the illusions. You know how to play the game better than they do. And that makes you dangerous. Because you're done with the fantasies. You're done with the lies. You're done with pretending everything's fine when it's not. You've seen the cracks. You've seen the darkness. And you're not afraid of it anymore. You faced the darkness and came out on the other side, scarred, sure, but alive. So what are you going to do with all of that? Are you going to sit here crying over the ashes of what could have been? Or are you going to stand up, dust yourself off, and start building something new? Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to take time. But now, you've got something you didn't have before. You've got clarity. You see the world for what it really is, and that's priceless. You're free now, free to make your own choices, free to build a life that's yours, free to surround yourself with people who actually care about you, who give as much as they take. So stop mourning what you lost. Stop looking at the past. It's time to start celebrating what you've gained. God saw what you couldn't. He knew you were better off without them. And now you have the chance to prove him right. What are you going to do now? You can keep feeling sorry for yourself, keep letting the past eat at you, or you can use that pain, that anger, that betrayal, and turn it into something powerful. You can become unstoppable. You've been through the worst, and you're still here, standing, breathing, and feeling something they never did. They took and took, but they never really cared. That's why it was easy for them to leave. But look at you. You're still here, carrying the weight of it, like a fool, dragging around the hurt like a badge of honor. But what's that doing for you? What's the point in holding on to ghosts? They're gone. So stop letting them live rent-free in your head. They won't come back, not in the way you want them to. And even if they did, they'd repeat the same damn thing all over again. You know it. Don't give them another chance. You want to survive in this world. You've got to toughen up. Start looking out for yourself, because no one else will. You think God didn't see how they were dragging you down? That's why he took them away. You didn't lose anything. You were saved from it. Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But you have something now you didn't have before. Clarity. You see the world for what it is, and that's priceless. You're free to make your own choices, to build a life that's real, with people who actually care. Stop mourning what you lost and start celebrating what you gained. God saw what you couldn't. He knew you were better off without them. You've got yourself now, and that's all you need. Everyone else, they're just along for the ride. They'll hop off when things get rough. But you're your own ride. You don't need anyone else to validate you or make you feel whole. You're already whole. You just don't see it yet, but you will. One day, you'll look back at this moment and realize losing them wasn't a loss at all. It was the best gift you ever received.